Hi guys, and welcome back. It's your girl, Yummy.com. Thank you for watching. Ironic because we are doing another channel review about a channel called Watchers.
And thus, a little company called Watcher was born.
Thank you for joining me. I really wanted to make this video. I've been waiting for a while to make this video because I feel like they're constantly putting out new series and new content, and I want it to be as up to date as possible. Forgive me if I'm not, but I will explain what Watchers is now. Watchers, I watched a lot of Buzzfeed back in the day. I watched Quinta, I watched Garrick, I watched Ryan, I watched Shane, I watched Steven, I watched Andrew, I watched the Try Guys, I watched Lady Be Like, back when Sophia was on it. I watched a lot of Buzzfeed. And Ashley Perez, oh my god, can't forget about her. She was my queen of awkwardness for the longest time. For the longest time. And Curly! Anyways, and Jazz, stop it. And Kristen, but I already said Lady Be Like. Anyways, and Better Like, that's it. No more. Cut. No more Buzzfeed references. Basically, I watched a lot of Buzzfeed. I feel like it was definitely targeted to me when I started watching it. I was in college, and I was like, yes, people can relate. I want to, and I'm in like production, so I was like, oh my god, you know, like I just really wanted to be a producer for Try Guys. That's literally what I wanted to do. I was like, I either want to be a Worth It producer or a Try Guys producer. That's all I want to do. And then Try Guys left, and I was like, well, that dream is, I mean, I guess it's still there because Try Guys is still a thing, but they already have an awesome producer, Rachel. And with that being said, there are certain series that I still watch on Buzzfeed to this day, and one of those is the Unsolved series.
Ryan, I think we've solved it. All right, well, it's been fun. See you later. I will set this house on fire, and your children are going to die. Huh, yeah, who could it be? Yes. Who could have done this?
The Unsolved series was led by Shane and Ryan, where they would dive into whether it be true crime or sports conspiracies or supernatural, and they would like visit these places and talk about these cases that are still remained unsolved to this day. They are the hilarious duo, and they are just excellent on it.
They're still out there, I think. I believe they're out there.
They would have to be, right? If you have a parent who ever told you that they were stolen in a fire and given a wonderful breakfast the next day, let us know.
It's like a ghost story. It's so cool, but it's like a ghost story with your friends who are also hilarious and physically there. So it was really cool to watch that, the Unsolved series. And then another series that I really loved was, like I said before, Worth It.
On Worth It.
The Worth It series was an amazing show. I mean, I like had that idea when I was in college. Am I gonna say that Stephen Lim picked it out of my brain while I was sleeping? No, but I really appreciate what he did with it. It was really amazing. I loved it, Worth It, the price points, all of it. Him and Andrew had a great dynamic, and so those were the two shows that I really gravitated to on Buzzfeed. So I was like, okay, if they ever leave Buzzfeed, it's over for me. You know, I saw the Try Guys leave Buzzfeed. I saw Sophia from Lady Be Like leave Buzzfeed. I saw more people from Lady Be Like and other shows all leave Buzzfeed. And Quinta go on to do Black Lady Sketch Show, which I love, leaves Buzzfeed. So I was like, if they ever leave, it's over. They created their own channel though, which is Watchers. Basically, the content on Watchers is all the stuff that I loved about their content on Buzzfeed. And to be honest, it's kind of so underrated. They have like, as I'm making this video, they have like 1 point something million subscribers. They should have so much more because the content they make is so highbrow, not even highbrow, just so amazing. They have so many different series, and it's kind of within their like natural realm of the stuff they were making at Buzzfeed, but just exploded into like awesomeness. They have this series called The Weird Wonderful World, and it's just basically the opposite of like BuzzFeed Unsolved. I think someone left this comment, and maybe I'm remembering it from what they said. It's like the opposite of BuzzFeed Unsolved. BuzzFeed Unsolved is like Ryan taking Shane to these weird places where ghosts live, and sadness ensues. But The Wonderful Weird World is more so Shane taking Ryan to these weird and cool places. Like there's this one where they the friendship club they went to, that was cool. They went to the soda emporium, which was really cool. And it's like you still get the same really cool and fun dynamic of BuzzFeed Unsolved, but like you can watch it at night because it won't give you nightmares, so it's really fun. And it's like it's like a great experience. You get that fun back and forth, that the chemistry those two have is amazing.
Is it local to here, or is it a Danish thing? Because I didn't see those in Copenhagen.
Yeah, it is, but I
Subtle
think...
flex there, that was good.
I guess you could say it's a heartfelt gesture.
Ryan?
Oh,
no.
shit.
No,
man.
no.
See you guys later.
Nope, sit down.
So I super love it. I love that show. They did Dungeons and Dragons during quarantine, which was freaking amazing. Like, it got me through so many quarantine days, like waiting for them to upload another Dungeons and Dragon. Like, I freaking loved it, and it kind of reminded me of like when SourceFed did the moderator.
Well met.
Well met.
This is episode 2 of SourceFed Dungeons and Dragons for campaign 2.
I think Mod still does it on her channel as well. Like D&D, kind of a thing. I was never into Dungeons and Dragons as a kid. I was a little bit nerdy, not that nerdy, and I just really love it. And like watching these two people, like Maud and her crew, and then the Watchers do this like pseudo Dungeons and Dragons game, makes me want to play it insanely. So I absolutely love that. There's another show that I love called Dish Granted.
Hello and welcome to Dish Granted. I'm your host and amateur home cook, Stephen Lim, and I've had the opportunity to try some of the most extravagant, expensive, delicious meals all around the world. But on this show, I'll be attempting to give my friends a little taste of that same luxury. With no limit to how much I can spend, I'll have 24 hours to create a dish beyond their wildest dreams. This is Dish Granted.
And it plays right into Stephen Lim's skill set. It is him being a home cooking chef pro, taking people's like dream dishes and giving them no budget and just trying to make them the best version of that dish ever. Like Shane's reaction to that mac and cheese was amazing. Chef's kiss. And the mac and cheese looked freaking delicious. Like I want to eat it like so badly.
This is crazy. This is beautiful. This is crazy / beautiful, like the motion picture starring Kirsten Dunst.
But it's just so fun to see his love and passion for food come out through this new show, and it's amazing. And then he also has other shows where it's like home cooking versus pro, which is really fun to watch and really feel good, and you get to like see the difference, but still the appreciation and attention to detail that goes into food, both home cooked and like, in a restaurant. Like it's amazing. And I always love that, like Worth It, this channel also like gives attention to these restaurants. Like a lot of the times we all go to chain restaurants. How many times have you been to a Cheesecake Factory in your life? But you get to see these individualized and specialty places. Like, oh my gosh, that kimchi, I forgot what it's called. It's like Spam, and they had a croissant version of it. And like I'm like, I want to go there just to try that croissant, that Spam kimchi croissant. It's insane. It's insane. But basically, there's just a lot of great shows that they have. There's a lot of options. There's everything that you could possibly imagine and enjoy. And if you like the BuzzFeed Unsolved stuff, the scary stuff, they have the Are You Scared? They also have the Spooky Tales. Spooky. I called it Spooky Tales. It's called Too Many Spirits, which kind of combines like the stuff, because like Steven is making the cocktails and they're drinking and getting progressively more drunk while telling scary stories that people have sent in that are usually never that scary, more so funny to see them reacting to how scary or non-scary the stories are. It is just very funny. They have the little drink cam. It's very funny. It's very amazing, and I love to watch it.
As a believer, I'm a skeptic, yada yada, the horse shit. You've seen it 1,000 times.
My favorite thing by far, though, on this channel is puppet history. It's the professor. I love puppet history so much. Okay, it's insane. It's insane how much I love this show. I love puppet history. I love puppet history. Okay, I'm one of those people who watch too much drunk history, and I'm like, but what if there were puppets? Okay, I work at a place where we did a shoot with puppets, and now I'm always just like, but what if there were puppets? Like Sesame Street vibes. Also, on top of that, I was a big fan of Ruined History that was on Buzzfeed.
Welcome to Ruining History. Today we're going to talk a lot and learn a little about the ascension of Darius the Great.
Darius.
Is it Darius?
It's a very modern name. I know 7 Dariuses.
Maybe they were inspired by this.
All of them are average at best.
I loved it so much. I loved when Sarah was on it. It was always Sarah, Ryan, and Shane, and then they had this like integrating or rotating cast of people, and Shane would explain his story through history that was like crazy, wacky, fun. I love history. History was my favorite subject in school. AP history I took, AP US history, AP government, any AP history class I could take, I took. I love it. I've gone to war reenactments, which was weird. You know, it's weird to go to Civil War reenactments, especially when you're black and you live in a state where you would have been a slave during that. Regardless, I love history. I think that history is wild and sad and crazy, and that we don't talk or learn about enough history, and the fact that we are learning these stories through history through a puppet.
Welcome one and all to Puppet History! Today we'll be taking an ever-winding look at yet another chapter in the heavy book we call History, while our guests ruthlessly compete for the coveted title of History Master. I am obviously your beloved host, the Professor. Thank you.
Is hilarious. And so there was Ruined History. Let me go back. There was Ruined History on Buzzfeed. It was this great show, rotating cast. Sarah, Shane, and Ryan were on it. Every week they talked about different things, whether it be bad popes or Caesar's battles or the real story of Moby Dick or Johnny Appleseed or just any of these things, okay? And it was amazing. It was my favorite freaking show, or Wojciech the Bear. It was my favorite show on Buzzfeed. Automatically became my favorite show on Buzzfeed, and then I never saw another episode of it, and I was sad. I was very sad. I boycotted Buzzfeed for like a month and a half, and every video that came out I'd be like, but where's Ruined History though? And I was very sad. And then Watchers came out and they had Puppet History. When I tell you how much I love this, the professor is literally amazing. He is amazing. It's just Shane. It's just Shane, and then Shane having the unlimited power to be just such a dickhead because he's behind a puppet.
Heist pulled off for you.
Yeah. Another heist, right?
Well, another little victory for you.
Maybe have some respect, yeah.
Little blue bitch.
And then basically it's Ryan, who is always competing with a rotating cast member. Ryan never wins.
They're trying to help Ryan win one of these.
We all are.
Can I have a point?
No.
But he's always competing with a rotating cast member about to learn about this story of history. They started off with the plague, the Black Death, and they've gone on through so many things, whether it be the samurai, Hatshepsut, who I will never forget and it will keep her memory alive, the Pharaoh Hatshepsut, just so many different things, and it's just hilarious. It's hilarious, it's funny, it's informative, it's interesting. Her history is quirky and crazy, and then I always love the guests that they have on this show.
Well, I actually love that. I love how like all of these female pirates that I've been learning about, they get to live full lives while all their dudes and their hoes die early from their recklessness. Women make better pirates.
Yeah, they know when to cash out of the casino.
They do. Unlike the professor.
Oh, don't even get me.
It's like my favorite people from BuzzFeed. Always. Curly's been on it, and I love that for me. Kristen's been on it. The other Ryan has been on it. Joyce was on it. Katie was on it. twice. Keith was on it. My favorite person ever to be on Buzzfeed, Garrick Bernard was on it.
Hurts. You can't just turn people into puppets without their consent.
There was consent there. When you take a jelly bean, you accept the responsibilities of eating a magical jelly bean.
Are you a human and you just keep on eating jelly beans, or are you just a puppet?
Would you guys be flattered if your significant other killed someone to get you to like them more? It's just a question.
No, because I'm not an ego monster.
Yes, because I am.
Okay. A point for Garrick. A point for Garrick for being honest.
Okay, and his episode is my favorite. I rewatch the Samurai episode all the time. But that's regardless of the point. It is hilarious. It is a fictional puppet, basically. I have not explained the show. I'm so sorry, guys. Whoops. It is a fictional puppet called the Professor, who is obviously a time-traveling demon who has been jinxed by a genie. But we put that aside. The Professor is this hilarious character that is giving lessons throughout history, about the things that happen throughout history. And it's always Ryan versus a guest, as I've said, and it's just so great and funny. He gives questions. There's always a song at the end. The songs are amazing. Roll the clip.
If only you could rid yourself of all your enemies. Well, if I got news for you, my friends, it's simple than it seems. You could talk it out and be real polite. You could slap him with a cook and in a fancy fight. But if you want to keep receiving clean and fast, I got a pitch ready for this? Poison their ass. Think about the gal who used to hang out on me. Now she's getting into trouble on the 7 seas. Ting she. You traded city living for piracy. I think she ever thinks about a crummy little junk like me. Marie Antoinette, she didn't want me. She told me to my face that I was ugly. But I guess in the end I got the upper hand because they didn't cut my head off. Tell you what, I think it sure is fun to make people die. You should see how friggin' funny you look when the lights go out of your eye. Yes, Khan, Celine Dion, all dogs and cats, fruit bats, your mom, and sure, some people worship me, but then I did make everything, like Jupiter, and Tupperware, and Diet Coke, and teddy bears. But I didn't make those people dance, so way back when in olden France, I'm not that guy, that's not my scene. You think that I would be so mean? And sure, I killed their crops for years and preyed upon their deepest fears of squalid plague, no food to eat, but dancing, man, that's not my beat. Hot chef son, a funny claim to fame. Her husband, dad, and kinda son, they all had the same name. A pharaoh who narrowly missed her chance to rule. But luckily the king to be was tied up with preschool. Hot chef son, if you're still asking who, just shows a pharaoh's greatness can be measured by their tomb. A queen, supreme yet surreptitiously interred. I should know me and my bro were mummified with her. Hot chef son, commit to memory because you see, regrettably, she happens to be dead and we can help her out enormously, particularly spiritually. If every now and then-ish we could toss a kindly thought to she who nearly became. To play the games of old, there's medals to be won. Can you attain the goal? Each country sends their best to put the medal to the test. How far would you go to prove your nation beats the rest? Would you run and run and run till blood fills up your lungs? We were in love once. Or weren't we? But now I'm a sword, you see. Me and Musashi. Boy, we make 'em bleed. I long for the days our heads dunked under waves, how we splashed and we smooched, oh, remember. Well, now I'm a blade, and the one thing I crave is to slash and to swoosh and dismember. We're meant to be, or are we?
Okay, you can't tell me if he had a vinyl, hands down, all the time. Watch it. I would listen to it, hands down, all the time, okay? It is bars. Anyways, so on top of always having a song at the end, they have questions, they get to win jelly beans. It's so amazing. It's just, you get informed while having fun, and that is my motto for life. Information disseminated through comedy is my favorite thing ever. It's the reason why I watch late night shows, and it's the reason why I am such a hard stan for the puppet the professor himself. I love this show. It's one of my favorite things about Watchers. Like, all the shows are amazing and so high quality, and it reminds me of like when Michelle Khare left Buzzfeed, because it's just, she started making this high quality stuff that was just amazing. And that's how I feel about the Try Guys, and now how I feel about Watchers. Like, they just started making such high quality, amazing stuff. And I love it, and I'm just a big fan of the show, this specific show, but also the whole channel. So that's why I decided to make this. If you're seeing this, guys, I want to say thank you so much. I loved all your content at Buzzfeed. I still like watch and listen to your stuff on Buzzfeed, but Watchers is where it's at. I feel like this is a super amazing piece that you put together, and super amazing, and you're just super amazing and super talented, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm yummy.com, friends. Don't worry, I will be back. Make sure you check them out, and stay tuned.